All right. Good morning, everyone. We're going to start in a seated position, either in a chair or on your mat, whichever you prefer. And we're going to start with some breathing, as always. This breathing exercise that we're going to do today is called Pravaloma breathing. In the previous class, we worked on the inhalations and holding the inhalations at a third, the lower third of the rib cage, the middle third of the chest, and the top third. This is the opposite. We will take a deep breath in and then release a third and hold, release a third, the second third and hold, and then push out, squeeze to release the final third of the breath. So it's the opposite. Again, if you do have trouble with hypertension or high blood pressure, it's best to not do the holds and just breathe normally. So let's close our eyes. Focus on the breath through the nose. And begin to quiet the mind. If you would like to set an intention for your class today, do so now. And intentionally begin to slow the breath. Relax the shoulders and the jaw. Now on the inhalation will be pulling all the air in, again, through the three stages, the lower belly, then expanding the rib cage, and then the top of the lungs, and we'll hold it for just a brief second before releasing a third of the breath and hold for just a beat, then releasing the second third and hold for a beat, and then releasing the bottom third again, engaging your Uddiyana, your Mula, squeezing the body to release all the breath. So let's start with the preparatory breath in through the nose. And exhaling through the nose. Now, full breath, beginning with the lower part of the body. Inhale, continuing to inhale, expanding the rib cage, and finally expanding as much as you can the top of the lungs and hold for just a moment. Now release just a third and hold. Release the second third and hold. Now squeezing out all the breath, pulling in at the belly, pushing all that stale air out, and then release and come to normal breath, inhaling fresh, clean prana into the body, and return to normal breathing. And again, let's do a preparatory breath in through the nose. And exhaling through the nose. Now beginning, inhaling lower part of the lungs. Inhaling through the side of the lungs, the chest space, and finally the top of the lungs. And hold on totally full. And then exhale the top third and hold. Exhale, squeezing in the rib cage and hold. And finally squeezing out the bottom third. And then inhaling clean air. And return to normal breathing. Just noticing the sensations. One more time. Preparatory breath Lower breath. And exhale. On your next inhalation, inhale through the lower part of the body, filling the middle, expanding the top as much as you can take in. Hold for just a moment, and then exhale top third and hold. Exhale middle and hold. And exhale all the air, pulling in at the belly, really squeezing out all the old air. Release the body, and then breathe normally. Again, the breath is the one process in the body that is both automatic and can be controlled. And just noticing the sensations when we focus on the breath, on the lungs, and control that energy, that prana coming in and out of the body. When you're ready, you can open your eyes, and however you prefer, let's come to standing. And with your hands on your hips, with your feet about hip width apart, just do a little warming up of the joints, transferring the weight onto one leg, take the other leg, and on the toes, let's roll around into the ankle joint, making some circles, and then go the other way, pressing down on the toes from the top, pressing down from underneath, shake it out. Let's do the other foot, circles, rotating on that toe, go the other way, and then pressing down on the top of the toes, and on the underside of the toes, getting a nice stretch into the toes, shake it out. Bringing the knees together now, hands on your knees, gentle circles with the knees. Bending the knees, of course, and then we'll go one way and then go the other way. And then take a step apart, bringing your hands to your hips. Let's do some nice big hip rolls. Spending any time anywhere where it might be a little ouchy to you this morning. Go one way, then go the other way. Nice big circles. And then come to center. Bring your hands onto your shoulders. Let's do some shoulder rolls. One way. And breathe. And then the other way. Shake out your arms. Let's do some arm rolls. They don't have to be together. They can be together. Go one way, go the other way. Maybe if you'd like to do the windmills we did in, I think it was class 3, rotating from side to side, getting the hips into it, bending the knees, really opening up the arms, and shake it out. Engage your fingers, and let's do some wrist rolls. Get the elbows moving with it. Relax your jaw. Relax the shoulders, go the other way. And shake it out. With your feet about hip width apart, hands at your side, soften your eyes, or if you need for your balance, and let's do some neck rolls. So dropping the chin, gently rolling as we inhale to the right, coming to the top, and exhaling down the other side. And again, inhale. Check your shoulders and exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Go the other way. Inhale. And exhale. Space between your teeth. Unclench your jaw. Inhale. And And exhale one last time. Inhale. And exhale. Now taking your, taking your face, relax your face, and we're just going to do blubber lips. So just take a few inhales, play with this. Relax the face. A couple more times. Nice stress reliever. Then with your feet again about hip width apart, my knees are bent and nice and comfortable. I'll turn to the side so you can see this. Doing some dragon breath, lion's breath. I can never remember. We're going to inhale, bend the knees, exhale, stick out the tongue, and exhale, squeezing in at the belly as much as you can. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. When the belly's empty, release, inhale, standing up. Again, inhale, exhale, tongue out. Inhale one more time. Exhale. And release. Shake it out. Let's just do some running in place and jumping around. And let's come to the wall. Bring one of your bricks. Now we're going to do our Tadasana, our mountain pose at the wall, but I'd like you to put a brick between your legs as high up in the thighs as you can. I don't put it too wide because we want the feet to be about hip width apart. So I have mine on the narrowest position. Squeeze the brick with your legs. Bring the heels to the floor or to the wall behind you. Engage the hips with the wall. Now, run your hands down your hips and just pull that skin down, noticing how it sort of pulls the pelvis bones up towards the navel a bit. We're trying to avoid the rib cage jutting out and want to have a natural curvature of the spine. Coming up the spine, bringing your shoulders back as far as you can. Maybe they are on the wall, maybe they can't. Touch. And then the head to the wall. Just taking a moment here to let the body come into this alignment. Continuing to squeeze that brick, noticing how that firms the outer hips, provides support for the pelvic floor and the internal organs. Chin is parallel with the floor. Close your eyes. Come to your victorious breath, the Ujjayi breathing. One more breath. On your next inhalation, bring your arms up. You can open your eyes if you'd like, and come into a cactus arm position, bringing those elbows and hands as far back towards the wall as you can. Now, be careful that you don't jut out the rib cage forward. Maintain that alignment. And breathe. Pulling back the hands, getting that opening in the chest space and the shoulders. Now extend the hands out towards the sides of the room and reach as though you're trying to reach a, something you want, a gold coin, maybe an ice cream cone. And reach, reach, reach. Let's find some space here between in the collarbone area. And maintaining that length, slowly with that length and that extension, begin to lower the arms to the floor. Very slow. And when the arms are at your side, Just take another moment with a breath, noticing how our body feels in this alignment, in this opening, and the strength of this posture. And on your next inhalation, you can remove the brick, set it aside, and let's step to the front of our mat. Now, in the previous class, we worked on our sun salutation. We're going to do the same salutation this week. As I've said before, this is something you can always do if you just want a short workout or a short practice. This is certainly hits most parts of the body and is a great way to get the energy and moving and the joints mobile as well. So with your feet about hip width apart, maintaining our strong Tadasana pose. Let's inhale, the arms rise to the sky, looking up, reaching, and then exhale, hinging from the hips, keeping that length in the spine. Bend the knees as needed as the hands come to the floor and release the head. Inhale, coming up halfway onto the fingertips, finding a little bit more length in the spine, maybe a little more stretch in the back of the legs, and exhale down. Inhale, bend the knees a bit more, bring the hands to the floor and step back with your left foot. Exhale, step back with the right foot. Inhale, roll the shoulders over the hands, and exhale, knees, chest, and chin come to the floor. On your next inhalation, lift the hands and the head, squeezing the back of the body. Let's hold for 2 breaths if you can. Into our baby cobra and exhale down. Inhale, hands just hover over the floor. The hands are, it's not a matter of how high your hands are. We're just squeezing the muscles and working on strengthening the upper back of the body and down. Now lift the feet, the hands, and the head from the floor and squeeze the whole length of the spinal cord for 2 breaths. And exhale. Inhale, squeeze, and exhale down. One more time. Inhale, feet, hands, head off the floor, squeezing, pulling those elbows back as though you're trying to touch your elbows behind your body. Squeeze the glutes, and exhale down. On your next inhale, let's press through the hands. Spread the knees and come into our child position. 3 breaths here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale for 2. Release the shoulders and exhale. You can do some wiggles and jiggles here if you'd like. Inhale for 3. And exhale. Bring the hands forward on your next inhalation. Spread the fingers wide, tuck your toes. Come into downward facing dog for 5 breaths. Inhale. Walk your dogs here. Push out each heel and exhale. Inhale for 2. Now, if you can't do 5, if 5 is just too strong for you, do as many as you can. And build up and exhale. Inhale, you can come up on your toes if you'd like. Check your head as well. Make sure it's released. Press the heels out down towards the floor, hips up to the sky. One more breath. And then let's soften the knees, bend them as much as you need. Come up on your fingertips, walk the feet to the front of the mat into our forward fold, Uttanasana. Release the head. Inhale, coming up onto the fingertips. Again, if you need to bend the knees to touch the floor, do it as much as you need to, and then release. Now bring your hands to your hips, engage your core, press through those heels, and hinge up to standing. Bring the arms up. We're going to do the other side, looking up to the sky, and then exhale, hinging down. We'll step back with the right the next time. But first, an Ardha here, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway up, and
exhale down. Inhale, step back now with the right foot. Exhale, step back with the left foot. Inhale, rolling the shoulders over the hands, and exhale, knees, chest, chin to the floor. Inhale, baby cobra. Hold for 2 breaths. Squeeze, 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 and down. One more time. Inhale, squeeze, 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 and down. Inhale, feet, hands, head off the floor, squeezing the whole length of the spinal column, strengthening, and release. One more time. Inhale, feet, hands, elbows off the floor, and release. Inhale, press through the hands, coming into our child pose, hands either in front or behind for 3 breaths. Finding your stretches here. Breathing. One more breath. On your next inhale, tuck the toes, reach forward with the hands, press through the fingers and the hands, and come into our downward dog. 5 breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, press those hips up to the sky, getting a nice stretch the whole length of the body. And exhale, looking from side to side, underneath each arm maybe, a little twist. Inhale for 3. And exhale. Couple more breaths. Keep checking your head that it's nice and loose. Final breath. And exhale, soften the knees. Bring the feet to the front of the mat or simply step to the front of the mat into our forward fold. Inhale, up halfway. Exhale to the fold. Inhale, hands to your hips, engage the core, press through the heels, come to standing, and bring your hands to your heart. Take a resting breath. We're going to do both sides again. Now, if this is too strong, if that's enough for you, you can just stop and simply breathe with us. If you'd like to go a little to continue, then feel free to do so. When you're ready, bring your hands to your side. Inhale, reaching up to the sky, finding just a little more length there in the spine, and exhale, hinging from the hips to the floor. Inhale, up halfway, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hands to the floor, step back left. Exhale, step back right. Inhale, rolling the shoulders over the hands, and exhale, knees, chest, and chin to the floor. Inhale, baby cobra, hands and forehead off the floor, squeeze, 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 and exhale down. Inhale, hands and head, 2 breaths, squeezing the elbows together, feeling the strengthening of the upper back, and exhale down to locust. Feet, hands, head off the floor, squeeze, 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 pulling those shoulders back, maybe lifting a little in the shoulders and torso, and exhale down. Inhale, lift, last time. Locust, baby locust, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And exhale down. Inhale, press through the hands, coming into child for 3 breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Shake it out. Inhale for 2. And exhale. Inhale for 3. exhale. Inhale, press your hands towards the front of the mat. Spread your fingers, tuck your toes, and exhale into downward facing dog. 5 breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Taking any wiggles and jiggles here that you'd like, or coming up on the toes. Exhale, pressing those heels down. And don't worry if your heels don't touch the floor. Some people are just anatomically unable to do that. It's about getting the stretch in the back of the body. Relax the head, shake it yes and no. One more breath. Pressing the hips up to the sky, and exhale. Let's release the knees. Walk the feet to the front of the mat. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, coming up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bring the hands up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart, soften the eyes. And let's take a moment here. And dropping the hands, let's do the other side. Hands up. And exhale down. Inhale, Ardha. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step back right. Exhale, step back left. Inhale, rolling the shoulders over the hands, and exhale, drop the knees, the chest, and the chin to the floor. Inhale, baby cobra for 2 breaths, squeezing and lifting and down. Inhale, 2 breaths, squeeze, 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 pulling those pinky fingers back towards the back of the body. Exhale down. Now to locust, inhale, lift feet, hands, head off the floor. And down one more time. Inhale, feet, hands forward. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze the elbows back towards the back of the body. And exhale down. Inhale, pressing through the hands, coming into child. 3 breaths. On your next inhale, spread the fingers and place them towards the front of the mat. Exhale, coming up onto the feet, into down dog for 5 breaths. Again, always check your head and your neck and your jaw. Strong arms, strong fingers, pressing the hips up to the sky. Feeling stretch along the entire length of the body, from the hands to the shoulders to the hips, down through the back of the legs and into the feet. One more breath. And exhale, release the knees. Bring the feet to the front of the mat, coming into our forward fold. Inhale, Ardha, halfway up, finding that final length here, and then exhale into our forward fold. Inhale, bring the arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart, Samastiti, all things inert. Taking a moment here to notice the sensations and to breathe. And enjoy this, the energy created by this vigorous flow. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and turn to the side. Now, coming back to the wall,
A couple of the things we're doing today can be a little strong, so just do as much as you want. You can make this as strong as you'd like or as gentle as you'd like. Doing a wall sit as we've done before, we're going to lean against the wall, have a brick in your hand, and walk the feet out to about as though you were sitting in a chair. We want a 90-degree angle or less, or greater, excuse me, of the knees and the at the knee. So bringing the brick between your knees, I have it at sort of the medium position so that my feet are approximately hip width apart. And I'm sliding down with my hips, just coming into a wall sit, sliding my hands down along the hips behind the body and noticing how that rolls the small of the back into the wall. We want to engage the core here and make sure that we're not jutting out the shoulders or the, excuse me, not the shoulders, but the rib cage, and engaging the small of the back with the floor. Excuse me, with the wall. I've only had one coffee. I think I need a second one. Hands can be on your side. It can be on your thighs. And we just like to breathe here, squeezing that brick. And if you can do 30 seconds, that would be a nice goal. If you can do a minute, that would be a nice goal as well. And breathe, just feeling the strengthening of our legs here and the core. And when you're ready, bring your hands behind you, press up to standing. You can remove the brick. Coming back to your mat. With your feet about hip width apart, let's take a lunge with the to the side. My foot is facing forward on the mat at a 90-degree angle. Just finding my stretch here, lowering the hips, keeping the sight of my big toe so that my hip is behind the body, and then come back to center. Step forward now to the left, finding that stretch in this side lunge. If it's hard on the knees, don't go down so deep. And come back to center. Other side. Again, hips are behind you. I can see my big toes, and then come back to center, going the other way, finding that stretch in the inner thigh. One more time. Side stretch. And center. Side stretch. And center. Now, with your feet about hip width apart, this is a balancing lunge. We're going to transfer the weight onto the right foot. Engage your core and find a drishti, a point of focus on the floor. Lift the left knee up, and then we're going to come back into a lunge. This is hard. It's not easy to do. Now, if it's too hard to go back into the lunge, we lift the foot and then go straight into the lunge on the knee. If that's too strong, you can simply work on lifting the knee, holding it as long as you can, and then bringing it down. If you'd like to go deeper, a little stronger with this, come back to the lunge. And down. Let's do the other side. Now transferring the weight onto the left foot, we're going to lift the right and then back to the lunge. Keep that point of focus. It's hard to talk and do this at the same time. And come to center. Now that's balance and strength at the same time. Really works the muscles in the legs. Again, modification of just lifting one leg at a time, taking it to the lunge, maybe doing one if you can, and ultimately trying to work to a point where you can come down to the lunge and come back up without touching the feet. It's an important thing to work on our balance. So as we age, one of the most important things we can do, in fact, I think, as we're aging. Bringing your hands now up to our ears and keeping our elbows up. We're going to lift the one knee to the side, touch the elbow to the knee, engage your core here. The sort of standing crunches, engage the core. Nice and slow. It's harder when it's slower. Make the muscles work and not use the momentum of moving fast. Really feel that your core muscles, that Uddiyana Bandha, pulling that leg up. And breathing. It's hard not to breathe when you're doing these. Also a bit of balance work here as well. And release. Shake it out. Coming to the front of our mats again with our feet about hip width apart. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hinging to the floor. Bend those knees as needed. Coming to our forward fold. Now, you can use a brick in your forward fold. If you're just working on getting those hands down there and getting a nice stretch in the back of the body, you can do so. If you're comfortable here, engaging the fingers behind the back, interlocking the fingers, and then opening, pulling the hands. Again, we're looking for a gentle stretch. Don't do anything too extreme or get too crazy here. You can keep the arms bent or straighten them if it's available to you to do that. And breathe, relax that jaw. And then noticing which thumb is on top. Let's release the hand, shake it out. Engage the hand so that the other thumb is now on the top. Same thing, other side. Check your jaw. Relax the face. And release. Again, shaking it out. Now placing the left hand in front of you, in between the feet. I'm going to bend my left knee, straighten my right. Inhale, draw my right arm up to the sky, trying to open that shoulder and get as much of a stretch as I can. Just do the best you can here. And release. Now, other hand comes to the middle onto the floor, bending the same knee as the hand that's down on the floor. Other arm sweeps to the sky. Engage your chin so that it's not jutting out. It's in a chin lock, but you are looking up towards the sky here, and breathe. Opening that shoulder. And release. Let's come down onto our knees and to a sitting position. Sticking one leg out to the side and bending the other knee. So we're sort of in more than a 90-degree angle here. And moving around the sits bones as we always have to, so that we have a nice connection with our hip bones to the floor. Inhale, let's bring the arms up. And then exhale, bringing one arm to the floor, closest to the foot, and the other arm continues to stretch, getting a nice stretch in this QL area over here, the lower side back, and breathe. And release. Bringing both arms up now, pressing the legs into the floor for balance, and especially your hip bones, and hinging forward, bringing the hands to the floor. And again, keeping the spine straight here, we're long here. We're not trying to curve the back, finding length in the spine, and just inching those fingers forward. I'm feeling a nice stretch here in the back of the extended leg, feeling a nice opening in the lower part of my lower back. And if you'd like, you can walk those fingers sort of spider-like to the side over towards that foot if you'd like. Just feeling a little more stretch there, keeping that length. And then spider walking your hands to the other side again, keeping the base of your leg and the hips on the ground. So you're getting a nice stretch. Relax the jaw. And then let's come up to seated position. Let's change and do the other leg now. So now I'm bringing the other leg in towards the body, extending my other foot, finding that connection of the hip bones with the floor, pressing down with the legs, creating a nice base. Inhale, arms rise, and exhale, forward hinge. Hands come to the floor, keeping the length in the spine, inching those fingers forward. And then let's walk the fingers spider-like towards the foot, finding the stretch, a stretch, multiple stretches maybe, and then walking them back to the other side. Again, keeping that point of release in the back. And when you're ready, coming back to center, arms rise. Right arm goes down by the extended right leg, stretching with the left and finding that QL stretch. Now, on the other side of the body, and breathe, release the jaw. And exhale, release. Bring your feet together. We're in a seated position. I have my knees together, bringing the hands to the heart, lifting the feet off the mat, engaging our core here. Back is nice and long, spine is nice and long. I'm not letting the small of the back collapse. And we're just coming into our boat pose, Navasana here, core work. If you'd like, if that's available to you, can lift the feet a little farther. It doesn't matter, as long as they're off the floor, you're engaging the core. If you'd like to go deeper, and again, you can do so without collapsing the small of the back. You can extend the legs into the full boat pose. And release the feet. And you should feel your legs straight shaking there. Certainly I do. That's strong core work. But again, can be done in small increments. You can use it with your hands behind you to support the back if you're just not quite there yet. That lifting will work the core. Coming back to our center, let's take a brick and put it on the floor. Extend your feet. I'm bringing my hand, I'm putting it sort of to the side of the 1 foot. Yeah, there you can see me. Yep. And again, engaging the core. Hands are behind me and on the floor for support. Lifting the right foot over the brick. Again, keep that small of the back from collapsing. If the small your back is collapsing, you need to engage the core more or make a smaller lift. For some people, this may be way, if that's too strong, you can just simply practice lifting. If you're feeling good with that, you can even go higher. This is harder over the second level. And, if you'd like to go higher, God bless you, and you can. But again, just make sure you're really using the core and keeping the back from collapsing. Let's do the other side. So wherever you are, they're just lifting the foot, really using the hands to support that back. Let's do some lifts over the brick and really feeling how the core is lifting this leg. We're also using a bunch of other muscles, but the core is really working here. And breathe. And release. Move the brick out of the way. Let's take our legs now as wide as we can. Flex your feet. Just as wide as you can. Take a moment here. Stretch it out. Coming into Upavishta Konasana, I'm moving the skin away from my hip bones. I have a nice strong connection, pressing down with the legs. Inhale, the arms rise. Exhale, coming forward. Hands come to the floor wherever you need them to be to keep the length in the spine, the back of the body. Finding your stretch inside of the legs, maybe feeling a little bit of a release as you're in this position for a couple of breaths. Maybe walking the fingers a little farther forward, a half inch at a time, maybe. Relax the chin and the head. And as we did with the one leg, let's now, with both legs extended, let's walk the fingers to the side. Keep your chin relaxed. Maybe walk back to center. Keeping that stretch wherever you feel it and walking now to the other side. Noticing how that changes. And then walk the hands back to center. Bend the knees, bring the knees up, and come into child. Spread the knees. Coming into our child pose, and let's just take a few breaths to rest here. Shake out your shoulders, your neck. Shake the hips. One more breath here. And then on your next exhalation, let's come up so that we're still on our hips are still on our feet. Bring your hands to your heart in Namaste prayer and just pressing through the front, coming up to standing, using the glutes, really squeezing the back of the legs and the glutes, and then down. Gentle coming up and then down. Few of these, just some strengthening of the back of the hips and the glutes, and down, up, and down. Maybe 5, maybe 10 of these, whatever feels comfortable. If it's hard on your knees, take it easy with these. And when you're ready, let's come into child one last time. Just for a couple breaths here. And if you don't have knee problems, one other pose we can do here is coming into frog. So we have the knees spread, the feet are flexed and in line with the knees, and just coming as wide as you can on the sides of the knees, opening up the groin. Again, you can use a brick here for the hands if you'd like, or for the head, whatever is comfortable. Staying in this pose. If you don't have troubles with your knees, you can stay in this pose for a minute, 2 minutes. Just find that opening and breathe. Can move back and sort of swing back and forth if you'd like, if that feels good to you. When you're ready, press to the feet, bring the knees together, and let's come onto our backs and just take a moment here.
Bring the knees in towards the body. Give yourselves a little hug. Do some circles along the small of the back. And then bring the feet down. We're going to bring the brick again between the knees in the second position. Pigeon toe your toes. Squeeze the brick with your knees. Make sure that you roll the skin away from your hip bones. The small of the back is close to the ground. Press through the toes. Lift the hips, and using the hands, of course, if it's available, lifting one foot. Bring the foot down and the hips down. Squeeze the brick, lift the hips again, lift the other leg, foot down, hips down. Again, inhale, lift, foot down, hips down. Inhale, lift the hips and point the toe, foot down, hips down. One more time, both sides. Inhale, lift, point, foot down, hips down. Inhale, lift, point, engage the core here, foot down, and hips down. Bring the brick and set it to the side. Bring your knees in. Again, let's just do a little hug here. You can roll a little bit if you'd like. And coming up to a seated position, I'm going to bring my hands under my shoulders so that my fingers are pointing towards my feet, and my shoulders are stacked over my hands. Now, this is tabletop position. If you have back issues, maybe watch this and be careful first to see if it's appropriate for your body. My feet are about hip width apart and slightly pigeon-toed. Inhale, I'm going to lift the hips so that the body becomes a tabletop position. The head can either stay forward. If you have neck issues, you may want to keep it forward. You can drop it. And then exhale, coming down on the side of the right hip. We're going to simply roll around to the back, hands come to the floor, and touch our nose to the floor, doing a little mini push-up and coming back to center. Now we're going to do the other side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Other hip. Roll around and touch the nose. Let's do another set of these. Now, if the lifts are too high, you can simply just do the rolls and touch your nose to the floor as well. One more set. Lift. Exhale, down. On the right hip. Roll around to the right. Hands to the floor. Nose to the floor. Press up. Coming back to center. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Onto the left hip. Rolling around to the right. Touch the nose to the floor. Let's come back to center. Shake it out. Laying down, getting ready for our Shavasana. Taking a deep breath in and exhaling out through the mouth this time. Again. Rolling the head from side to side. Checking your hips, little wiggles there. Make sure you're not holding any tension. Closing the eyes. Relax the face, the jaw, and the eyes. And come to your breath. Quiet the mind. Conscious relaxation.
Beginning to come back to the breath, gently wiggling the toes and fingers, rolling the head from side to side. When you're ready, bringing the knees up to the chest, rolling to your side and taking a moment on your side with your eyes closed for a breath or two here. On your next breath, press yourself up to a seated position, keeping your eyes closed for a moment longer, hands to your heart, coming back to the intention if you set one in class, enveloping it in the life and the energy and the light of your practice today, sending it out into the world. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have a lovely week. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Thank you so much.